From the Center for Agricultural Profitability at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, this is Nebraska Farmcast. I'm Ryan Evans. Applications for cooperative business development mini-grants are now being accepted for 2024 by the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's Nebraska Cooperative Development Center. The mini-grants are available to both existing cooperatives and groups who are exploring or developing cooperative business models. The application is open through February 15th, and I am joined on the phone by UNL Cooperative Development Specialist Cindy Houlden to tell us more. Hey, Cindy, thanks for joining me again.
Hi, Ryan.
If you could just start off by explaining what some characteristics of cooperatives are when it comes to how they can be set up or plan to be set up before applying for these mini grants.
Sure. So what we're looking for is groups who are looking at forming a cooperatively owned business. And by that, we mean it's a multi-owner business structure. Obviously more than one or two people that is going to operate in a democratic method. So that means every member has an equal say in how the business is operated. So when we look at that, it can be anything, any kind of a business that can come together. We've helped grocery stores, we've helped childcare centers, we're working with home cares, we've got an art cooperative. So, anything, any business that can be incorporated in Nebraska that wants to operate under a democratic method is who we're really targeting.
That's so cool. And these mini grant applications are open, as we said, to established cooperatives, as well as groups who might be planning or are just in the development stages for a new cooperative. So can you talk more about those two categories that you're inviting to apply?
Exactly. So the initial development assistance grants are designed for groups who are exploring the development of a multi-owner or cooperative business. So they're like, hey, this sounds like a good idea. I'm working with a couple groups. As a matter of fact, I met with one last night. They're talking about doing a child care shared services cooperative. And this sounds interesting, sounds like something that might help us work together. And so they're exploring. And so a development assistance grant helps them with some feasibility, some research, maybe some legal fees, but just kind of gives them a little bit of assistance financially as they go through this exploratory stage. The advanced assistance grants are designed for groups that have already incorporated under a cooperative model. And it allows them to access funds to maybe change their ownership structure a little bit. Maybe they need to reissue new shares or develop marketing materials to attract new members. Or, we had a grocery store last year that used it for marketing to attract new customers. So it's a way to give them some cash to further develop their cooperative as they move forward. Because, any small business, they don't just form and then get going. You're constantly needing to evaluate and move forward with different things. And so the two levels, one for those that are exploring and then one for those that have already incorporated but need to tweak things a little bit.
Great. Well, I was curious about what kinds of activities can be funded with these grants. You've covered a lot of that. If there's any additional, info you'd like to share about the types of activities that can be covered, or maybe what's not eligible for these grants, then is there anything to share there?
Yeah. So just thinking of 2023, we had a group apply for the grant. They were looking at forming a worker-owned ag cooperative, and they went and toured other cooperatives that were formed like what they wanted to form, just to see how they worked. And so we provided funds to help pay for their travel to different groups to do some, like I said, exploration or some research. They wouldn't have been able to do it without the grant. And one of the cool things for us is they're providing us back feedback on the different things they learned, so that we can share those lessons with others as he goes forward. As we go forward and work with other groups like this. Other things we've done, we've assisted groups with going to a conference. There's a rural grocery conference at K-State every so often, and we've paid for rural grocery stores to send representatives to that conference. Again, accounting assistance, legal assistance, feasibility studies. We were helping one cooperative put together some marketing materials to promote the group within their community. Those kind of things. Things that can't be purchased. Number one is salaries. So, and number two is computer equipment software programs. Now, things that are unique, we kind of look at it and we go, okay, well, this may technically be a computer program, but it's something that will help your cooperative function better. And again, we can show this as a model for future cooperatives that form together. So we kind of look at things and go, okay, yeah, this will work. Yeah, this won't. The one thing that's really set in stone is salaries. But I always tell all the groups, if we pay for your marketing materials, that frees up marketing money to pay your salaries. So we're not directly paying them, but our funds do help offset some of your expenses that then you have the cash to pay salaries out of.
So the applications for the mini grant program through the Nebraska Cooperative Development Center, again, are due February 15th, and the awards will be announced March 1st. So just curious, what will be the involvement of the Nebraska Cooperative Development Center with the groups who are awarded the grants after?
Well, we serve kind of as a mentor to these groups or as a coach. The groups that are exploring or forming, we help them walk through the feasibility steps and the exploration steps, to determine if the business is feasible, as in it could be successful in their community, and do they have adequate community support. We've got several great tools we use for that. And we have the weight of Nebraska Extension behind us to kind of walk through those conversations as well. We like to say that, it's kind of a community planning model. You have conversations and, you want this to happen, but can it happen? And we want them to ask all those questions because our goal, if this group incorporates and moves forward, we want them to be successful. So we kind of do everything in our power to make sure all those questions are answered so they're set up for success. With the groups that are already formed, maybe it's a grocery store and they need to figure out how to increase their profit margins or their basket size. So we talk again about marketing things they could do different. That we've seen it everywhere. Go shop at Walmart. Put the receipt on the cart. Shop in your store. Put the receipt on your cart to show that you can buy the same things in your store and not spend more. And to show what's available in your community. We also connect them with a couple of other cooperative resources. One is the Food Co-op Initiative, which is a group of co-ops, grocery co-ops across the nation that come together and talk about these conversations. And they've got some great training resources for grocery store managers. And I mentioned this earlier, is the Rural Grocery Initiative out of K-State. They've got some great resources. So we try to connect them with that. And sometimes it's as simple as just listening to the groups and, letting them air out their concerns and say, hey, have you thought of this? Have you tried this? And, just giving them the opportunity to take ownership of their process while kind of guiding them through with our experience.
Great. And can you, to wrap up here, just walk through how groups can apply, where at, and what's involved with the application in the process?
Yeah, the application is really simple. It's on Cooperative, and they can get there actually through our website, which is ncdc.unl.edu. If you go to our website and you click along the top bars, there's one called Technical Assistance, and then you go to Financial Assistance. The link to the grant is available there. Otherwise, send me a quick email. My email is choulden2@unl.edu, and I can answer questions and kind of connect you with the process.
Great. So again, that is Cindy Houlden, Cooperative Development Specialist with the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's Nebraska Cooperative Development Center. Again, you can find out more about the center and apply for this mini grant program for co-ops in the state at their website, ncdc.unl.edu. And if you're listening to this podcast on your favorite platform, we will make sure to stick that address in the notes as well. Cindy, thanks so much for the great info today.
Thanks, Ryan. You have a great day.
You too. Thanks so much.
Nebraska Farmcast is a production of the Center for Agricultural Profitability at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. For the latest research-based information and education resources to manage your farm or ranch operation, visit our website at cap.unl.edu. That's cap.unl.edu.